Hello and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat. Today we are doing our WSL predictions for game week 16 of the 23-24 Women's Super League season. It's been a really good campaign so far, and this weekend we have a crunch match. Chelsea, the current leaders and champions of the WSL, welcome Arsenal to Stamford Bridge. Should be a good one, Harry. Let's get started with that Friday game. Then now we're on the same day here as the game kicks off. We are live tonight for Chelsea versus Arsenal, so make sure to join us from 7:15. Harry, should be a good game, right?
Yeah, it's going to be absolute cracker. As a Chelsea fan, I've been so excited from the moment I woke up this morning. I cannot wait. It's going to be a brilliant game tonight. It could go either way. The title's on the line. This season's on the line. The WSL season is on the line tonight for both sides. I cannot wait. I think it's going to be a brilliant game, and I can't wait to stream it.
I'm very excited. Join us there. We'll be live from 7:15. But let's get in some predictions then. So, as I usually do, let's get a little bit of preamble. Chelsea have been very good this season, but against the top sides, they have struggled somewhat. They lost to Arsenal earlier in the season. They lost to City a matter of weeks ago. And their only other game against City or Arsenal was a draw against City in the league. Of course, they did beat City in the League Cup. But in the league, they have struggled somewhat against the top sides. Arsenal have not had said struggles other than in the Cups. So, juxtaposing, they beat Chelsea in the league, they've beaten City in the league, they're in a really good spot at the moment, Arsenal, only 3 points behind Chelsea and Manchester City. How do you see this one panning out, Harry?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Arsenal are on a brilliant run. They're playing some really good football, and the momentum is carrying them to keep the pressure on the top two. So that would tell you that Arsenal are going to get a win across the line here. But if there's one thing we know at Emma Hayes' Chelsea side, is that when they might, Chelsea, they've messed up in a few big games this season, but when it comes to the biggest game of the season, the one that matters the most, the one where everything is on the line, you do not bet against Chelsea to not come into this game with some fight. And I think they will. I think Arsenal will give it a really good go, and they would take the lead through Alessia Russo. Stamford Bridge will be silenced, but then, half-time, big talk from Emma Hayes. Second half, Chelsea come out in true Chelsea fashion, find 2 goals, and in the biggest game of the season, turn the tie around. And I think those 2 goals will come through Macario, who gets subbed on at half-time to make it 1-1, and then someone who needs a goal, who hasn't scored in ages, but will turn up when Chelsea fans need her, Guro bloody Wrighton.
Love it. Absolutely love the prediction. The Guro goal, the Cat Macario goal. Lovely stuff and a big win for Chelsea. I'm tempted to go for a draw here. As much as that Chelsea fan inside pains to say it, I think I'm going to go Chelsea 2, Arsenal 2. I think Chelsea will open the scoring through a header from Maren Mjelde. Is she fit?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Fit.
All right, she's going to score a header then. Then Arsenal will level it up through Victoria Pelova, given that she is fit as well. Then it will be Arsenal who take the lead and worry Chelsea fans through Stina Blackstenius coming off the bench or potentially starting. Maybe she started last time out, we don't know. And then Chelsea with a late equaliser. Something that the Chelsea fans want you to know. It's Cat Macario. She's going to score, of course. She's been incredible recently. A real revelation for the Blues. I think she'll bag again here in a 2-2 draw. Up next and on to the Saturday. It is a 1 o'clock kickoff. Everton welcome Aston Villa. Everton have had a mixed season. They're definitely now being dragged into that fight for relegation, though given the relative inequality or lack of quality for Bristol City, I think Everton will likely be safe at this point, but they need to keep getting wins. They need to get some points to make sure there is no risk of that. As for Aston Villa, well, they are resurging up the WSL table, and they're definitely closing up now to the top sides. Last weekend was a bit of a setback, but they'll be looking to push on and hopefully get after Liverpool, Man United and Tottenham. So, Harry, how do you see it panning out?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game. Brian Sorenson's side haven't been great, but Carla Ward's side haven't been great either. And Villa just can't seem to get anything to go their way. And I think it's been a frustrating game. I'll go for a draw, 1-1. I think Villa will take the lead through Rachel Daly. And again, it'll be a scenario where we look at the game and go, Villa are finally going to get a win across the line. But with about 10 to 15 minutes to go, Piemonte for Everton will level the score, and it'll be another frustrating game for Aston Villa.
Fair enough. I love it. I am going to go. I'll back Aston Villa in this one. I think they're the stronger side, and I'll say 2-0 to the Villains. I think it will be an opener through... tempted by a few different options here. I'm going to go Rachel Daly, though, because that feels like a fairly obvious prediction, and then I will back. I'll go Demi Pacheco. Not really heard a lot from her since the start of the season. I think she scored, was it against Arsenal?
Yeah.
I want to say she got a goal, something like that. Haven't seen her since, but I'll back her to score here. On to the Sunday then, and the first game, the 12 o'clock kickoff. First of two 12 o'clock kickoffs, it's Liverpool versus West Ham. West Ham have staved off relegation well this season by recruiting lots of talent from abroad. Liverpool, never really in a risk of relegation, never really fighting for the top though, so they've sort of been in that middle ground this year. They are outsiders for that fourth place. Not that that means anything in terms of Europe, but it would be a monumental step for Liverpool if they were to get ahead of Man United. So can they claim another win here? Can they keep pushing up the WSL table? And can they beat West Ham?
Yeah, as you say, Liverpool had a really, really good time at the WSL. Unfortunately, last week they were stumped by Leicester in the FA Cup, which has been disappointing because to miss out on the semi-finals when they got what you could argue was quite a nice draw will be a shame. Matt Beard's side are going to want to retaliate against the West Ham side, who in recent weeks have looked really, really good. I am going to go for another draw here, another 1-1 game. I think West Ham will take the lead, and Liverpool, coming into this game with a poor loss last weekend, are going to start slow, and it is going to be Vivian Asayi to give West Ham the lead. But I think in the second half, Liverpool will come out and grab a much-needed point through Sophie Haug to get on the score sheet and level this game up for a decent point for both sides.
She needs some goals. Haug hasn't been incredible this season. Definitely could do with some goals. This West Ham side have been something of giant killers of a late, but I think Liverpool have enough to see them off here, see off the challenge that the likes of Arsenal and Manchester United just couldn't. I will say Liverpool 2, West Ham 0, and I'll go Shanice van der Sanden because I think she's a very, very good footballer, and then I will go Mary-Therese Hobinger, I think, as well. Liverpool with a comfortable 2-0 victory. West Ham, I could see them getting something from the game, but simply a prediction. I will say that Liverpool will win it. Up next, and the other 12 o'clock kickoff, is Manchester United versus Bristol City. Very juxtaposing fortunes for these two sides, but both somewhat falling short of expectations, or at least only just meeting them. Bristol City sitting bottom of the table right now. It was always going to be an uphill battle for them this season, but it does feel like they have been particularly poor. Their campaign has not been one to write home about, and well, with them sitting as they are, they're going to struggle here to get anything against Manchester United. United, on the other hand, well, after finishing second last season, I think Mark Skinner's side would have wanted to push for the WSL title this year. That hasn't materialised. They find themselves in fourth, and they've been on the end of quite a few poor results this season. I wouldn't be surprised if they got an upset, if Bristol City could get an upset here. But how do you see it playing out, Harry?
Yeah, I don't think Bristol City have got enough. As much as United aren't playing their best at the moment, Bristol City just haven't got enough, haven't got what it takes this season to stay in the WSL and to get points off teams like United. But I think they'll give it a good go. Because United aren't great. I'll go 2-1 to the home
Nothing
side.
to do with them getting a good go, just United not.
Yeah, exactly. I think United will take the lead through Ella Toon, a very rare goal. I think Bristol City will then level up through Amelie Thestrup, who, despite the fact they lost 7-3 to Brighton last time out, she still scored a couple.
Hell of a game, by the way. We haven't spoken much about that, but what a man.
Absolute cracker. But I think, again, United will be saved by their marksman off the bench, Rachel Williams. 5 minutes to go, comes on, and in her fashion, will come on and score a goal for United, a much-needed goal, and Skinner, again, will get a win across the line by the skin of his teeth.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think this game could be a real catalyst for Manchester United. I feel like if they could get a really big victory here against Bristol City, that could definitely spur them on for more this campaign. I think they will get that. I'm going to back Manchester United 5, Bristol City 1. I still think they're going to concede because, I mean, look at the Arsenal game. They gave them 3 goals. They're going to go for Bristol City at least 1. I will say it'll be Manchester United goals through Katie Zellin penalty to open the scoring, then an Ella Toon goal. She needs some goals for her confidence. Bristol City will peg one back, and I think that'll come. Well, I don't want to copy you and say Amelie Thestrup, so I'll say Brooke Aspen. I think she also scored in the Brighton game, so I'll back her to get a goal. And maybe some people will be looking, Man United fans hiding behind their sofa at half time, going, "Oh, this is a bit nervy now." But I think then the second half they'll blow Bristol City away. It'll be goals from Heisei Ferreira. Hinata Miyazawa, I believe she's back from injury, so I'll back her to score. And then I will also say, I want to go defensively. I'll go Maya Letitia. Not one that's often amongst the goals, but I'll back her this week.
Yeah.
Up next, it's Brighton versus Manchester City. Last time out, or well, I should say in the reverse fixture between these two sides, Brighton claimed a huge away victory over Man City. It's one of the reasons why City aren't clear at the top at the moment, but City, they've been better in the second half of the season. They'll be hoping they can get revenge here. Brighton, very reliant on Ellie Turlin, but that's not a bad player to be reliant on. Man City, you could argue, very reliant on Khadija Shaw. Again, there are much worse players to be reliant on. So, Harry, how do you see it panning out? Will it be a goal fest between the two top scorers in the league or not?
Yeah, Man City can hit a barn door with a banjo against Tottenham in the FA Cup last week. And that
Or
came
Chelsea
back
in the
to
week before,
punish
really.
them. Yeah, and that same happened in the reverse fixture. They lost that game, but I think they'll be okay here, and I think they will get a big win to keep the pressure on Chelsea, to keep level on points with the Blues, and it will be a 2-0 victory. Quite a tough game. Brighton will give it a good go, but it will eventually be a goal from Khadija Shaw and a massive goal, a big goal for Chloe Kelly. And I think City will get this win across the line and prove they are still there to win this title.
Yeah, I think obviously last week was a really difficult week for City. They were knocked out of the Women's League Cup at the semi-final stage. They were knocked out of the Women's FA Cup at the quarter-final stage. I think that really put a real dampener on the season. I think with Friday night's game, as I predicted a draw, I think they'll be looking at that as somewhat of a huge moment, a huge moment to take advantage of. And I don't think they will. I'm going to go Brighton 1, Manchester City 1, and another really disappointing result for the citizens that's really going to compound their season and mean that they're still level with Chelsea despite them dropping points. I'll say a Brighton goal. Well, I don't even need to say her name. Ellie Turland, who else is going to score for Brighton? And then I will say a Manchester City. To be fair, Brighton did get 7, and they were all different goal scorers, so somewhat disingenuous. Man City, I could go for a plethora of options. While I'm tempted to continue and just say Khadija Shaw, I am instead going to go for Jess Park. I think that she may well start in the middle of the park with Jill Roord out injured, and I think she could bag as a consequence. Up next then, the last game of the game week, it's Tottenham versus Leicester. Tottenham are still riding a huge high from their FA Cup result last weekend, as are Leicester. However, Leicester, it's been a very difficult week for the club with accusations lobbied at their manager. That's something we may go into in a different video and all the other WSL managers' reactions to the bit of controversy going on in the women's game right now. But let's not dwell on that. Let's talk about the game. Tottenham, I mean, they've looked really good. They've now got Drew Spencer and Olga Arsenal back. Whether they start this game or not could make the difference between whether they win it comfortably or not. I do think Tottenham are going to be strong here, but how do you see this playing out, Harry?
Yeah, I feel like Tottenham are going to bring momentum from that big penalty shootout win against City, and they're going to prove that, because, I think they have made a step up from last year, obviously the investment in the manager, and I think they need a game where they can prove that. And I think they would do that now, especially with Leicester not having a great time off the pitch. I'm going to go for Tottenham 6. Leicester 0. I think they are going to bring a massive performance, a big statement to tell everyone we're here to play now. And I will go for a Grace Clinton double, a goal from Martha Thomas, a goal from Beth England. That is 4 goals. Then a goal from Arsenal on her return, and then a 6th, topped off by Bizet.
Fair enough. I will go slightly more modestly. I'll say 3-1 Tottenham. I will go for a Beth England goal because she's very, very good. I will say Matilda Wimberg. I've been pining for a Wimberg goal on this show for months now. It has to happen soon. Don't know if she's going to start, but this could be from the bench. And then I will say Ashley Neville. Well, I was tempted to say Tracy Neville there. I don't think she's going to score. Ashley Neville will, though. Yeah, I think Ashley Neville will score. I'll say a Leicester consolation note through Jess Rantala, but it's is it Jess or Justine? Justine Rantala, I think. But I think it's going to be a very difficult game for Leicester. Tottenham have a very strong side, and they've been in really good form recently. So I'll back Tottenham with a 3-1 win. And that rounds off this weekend's predictions. As I say, join us tonight. Chelsea, Arsenal, the blockbuster fixture in the WSL season. I am pumped for it. I know Harry's pumped for it. I'm sure you guys at home are all very, very excited for it. Should be a good one tonight. And hopefully we can treat you to a great stream with great action. Other than that, make sure to check out our videos from this week. We spoke about what, Harry?
Man City and how they are falling apart.
They did. We spoke about that. Last week we spoke about Man United. So depending on which side of the wall you sit on, if you're City or United, there's 2 options for you. So one of them will be on screen now. If you want to join us on Tuesday, we are live for the Champions League. It is back. I believe it will just be me in the studio, but Chelsea versus Ajax. 6:15 kickoff. I'm very excited for it. Should be a brilliant match. So loads of Chelsea streams coming up, loads of women's football streams coming up. Make sure to subscribe so you keep in the loop with all of it. But that is everything from us today. Watch the video on screen now covering Harry's face, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.